Thanks, Jess. Thanks, Sam. Joe Chats on Tap Sportsnet. We met the other day. Thanks for the time. Curious if you could just tell us, why this was the right move for you at this time and what your expectations are coming back to Major League Soccer and American soccer in 2025.
Yeah, it was I think there were a few things that were important when I was considering coming back to the US, and one was uh picking a club that has a good foundation and a good coaching staff and the way they run things, and obviously with Greg and all the success he's had, and being with the national team as well, to be able to play for a coach with that kind of pedigree and all the things he's accomplished is uh, like very enticing. It was something I was very interested in, as well as the situation with the way the club was moving forward with all the new staff they brought in, and uh, yeah, just the direction the club wants to head in was also very enticing for me as well. So I just wanted to be in that kind of environment with good players, and the players they've brought in as well. If it's really high level here, and it was the opportunity. There were a lot of attractive things about the opportunity that made it very, very good for me to come here.
Understood. Thank you.
Wonderful. Next, we'll go to Tim Hotsey.
Hi, Sam. Thanks for taking the time to meet with us. So I know you've played it for multiple clubs in Norway at the first team level, but you came up through the Sounders Academy. I think you made a couple Open Cup appearances, but you're set to make your first MLS League debut coming up. It's obviously something that with the Sounders Academy you were hoping for and dreaming of. So what does it feel like now that looks like it's about to happen and coming real?
Yeah, obviously before when I was younger there, it's obviously that was my goal to play at that level at that time, and it didn't work out at that time. So it was delayed it, but I'm super excited to be in the MLS now, and I have a lot I want to show and prove along with the team. So for me, it was just I guess the opportunity was just delayed a bit, but now that it's here, I'm excited for it and ready, and I can't wait for when that time comes to make that debut.
Thank you.
Next, we'll go to Jim Alexander from Real Talker.
Hey, Sam. A lot of new pieces on the back line here for the Fire. How have you guys been gelling so far? Just chemistry on the pitch and even off the pitch. A lot of kind of new faces adjusting to the city too. But what has the adjustment been sort of and the gelling process with the guys?
Yeah, no, this is a great group. I'd say this is one of maybe the best group I've been a part of, teammate wise, locker room wise, not just the defenders, but the whole team they're all great. You can have a conversation with anyone in the team about anything. Everyone's super friendly, helpful, especially like you said, there's a lot of new guys. So the guys that have been here have been very helpful about, like when we're looking for places to live, they're having a lot of suggestions and based off what we like. And if we need something, they say reach out, they'll be there. And it's the same with the other defenders. It's like a lot of new guys, but on the field, the instructions and the way we want to do things is very clear. So it's all about just getting everyone on the same page, which has been pretty good so far. And also off the field, it's nice when we go away to preseason for a couple trips because when we're outside of training, we're still all together. So there's times we get together after training and we do things together, whether that's excuse me, going to like the pool or going out, walking around, seeing some different places, restaurants, stores. But so it's a good cohesion opportunity, and I think everyone gets along really well. So that makes being on the pitch all together, that makes it more seamless, and it makes it more enjoyable for all of us, I think. So I think there's a lot of positivity and like very optimistic going forward with it.
Thanks for sharing that, Sam.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing any other hands raised, so I'll check in with everyone. Hernan, we'll go to you.
Yes, hello, Sam. Hernan Espinosa, La Fiera Deportiva. What is the player that is most impressed to you in the team in this preseason, and which player do you think has the arm of captain during the games of the preseason? Which is the leader in the team? Thank you.
Yeah, I think there's been a couple guys, I guess, or I mean, there's been a few, but I guess like just off the bat, like I would say like Christopher Cups, because he's so young that he came in and he actually played a lot of minutes when we were in Florida and got a lot of opportunity and showed a lot of like really good things. And for him being only being 16, the potential there is crazy. So I was definitely impressed with him. I think uh, I've been impressed with Ugo as well. Obviously, I wasn't here last year, so I hadn't seen him play so much, but like seeing him in person, he's been injured, but when he's been on the pitch, seeing him, the way he moves, the way he like analyzes what's happening, and he's very like clever. I think he's going to be a problem for sure. And what was the second part? Sorry, I forgot.
Yeah, who you think is the leader
Oh, right.
of the team, of the captain, that you think is more uh, to give orders in the field when they're in the preseason?
Yeah, I think like I said before, there's so many good guys on the team. I think in this locker room, I think like Kellen is he's been the captain so far and wearing the armband the most, and he's a very good leader because he's very good at bringing the guys together. He has a very like calming tone. He doesn't like often lose his head, and he keeps very like controlled. So I think it's like a good calming presence for the guys on the field as well as like everyone else to know that like if something's going wrong, they can look to him to settle the mood down and keep things like controlled. But there's other guys that can also fill that role if Kellen like wasn't available or if he needed help as well with like being a captain. So uh, yeah, I think it's a it's a good situation to have when you can have other guys as well on top of like the captain. So it's a good environment.
Awesome. Thanks, Hernan. We'll go next to Alex Calabrese.
Hey Sam, how's it going? Nice to meet you.
Hey, good to meet you too.
Cool. So you mentioned Cups before. He's obviously 16. Like yourself, a lot of the center backs in the roster are on the younger side as well. Was it like having an experienced USMNT center back like Omar Gonzalez in the locker room and on the training pitch?
Yeah, he's a great guy. He obviously has a lot of experience in the league. He's accomplished a lot. I think it's a good presence to have in the locker room because there's not a lot of it's a very young team, like you said. There's not a lot of older players, so it's important. I think it's good to have players with more experience in the locker room as well to help with mentoring or even just advising other guys. Like it's like even for me, like I'm not like young, but I'm 25 still, so like uh to be able to play like beside someone like Omar to get advice from him and perspective because he's seen it all, done it all. It's just helps the team because he's able to help like on the field, like with playing side by side, and then obviously with the coaches as well. But it makes a big difference when you have some like veteran leadership there. It makes a huge difference in the long run.
Awesome. Thank you.
Of course.
Before we circle back, go out to the group, see if there are any other questions. Joel Laboratory, anything on your end? Hey, Jose Gudinho, do you have any questions?
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Yep,
Yeah.
you're good, Jose.
Hello. So how do you see, you were talking about younger players. I mean, you're 25 years old, but you have a lot of experience, in Europe. How do you see the role this season, especially using your experience to impact the younger players?
Yeah, I think anytime you can help give perspective or advice on even anyone, doesn't even have to be young, but especially for the younger guys, because we've been in their position, coming up, in a same club or different club, we've been in their shoes. So I think it also comes along with the camaraderie in the locker room, with everyone being uh, positive and helpful towards each other with, good vibes. And I think for me, like it always helped me when older players, when I was younger, would, give advice and perspective on, a play that happened or how to do something better in a certain situation. So for me, all I try to do is reciprocate that as well. Because the better my teammates play, the better it is for me, the easier it is for me, the better I play, the easier it is for my teammates. So it's, it's kind of like a revolving situation where the better everyone does, the better the team does, and the better everyone looks. So I will try to help everyone as much as I can, younger, even older, if they want to listen. If they don't want to listen, that's their choice. But uh, yeah, I think it's just part of being a good teammate. Everyone should do that.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jose. Checking in, Paul or Rick, any questions on your end?
I'm okay.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul. Okay, then we'll go back and do our last two questions for Sam, first to Joe Schatz and then to Tim Hotsey.
Yeah, Sam, there's a game on Saturday. Got to ask you about that. I'm curious, what stood out to you in your prep about Columbus, and what do you think this team has to do to be successful on the road in the season opener?
Yeah, obviously it's a good team. Columbus, they've had success the last few years, and they're definitely one of the better teams in the East. I think for us, we continue to build on how we've ended the preseason. There's been a lot of good progress and a lot of the things that Greg's wanted us to work on and improve. We've shown improvement in those areas, and I think being back here, especially back in Chicago right before we head out, gives everyone a little bit more energy, being back in our facility and on the training pitch here instead of being away for a couple weeks, it kind of like rejuvenates the group. But I think we just keep doing what we've been doing, what we've been working on in training and in the last friendlies in the preseason. Everyone's really in good spirits. Everyone's excited to get going and play a competitive game. So I think we're just, optimistic, very optimistic.
Understood. Thank you.
Sam, it's Tim Hossie again. So I've got to ask a little question about the weather, because that kind of came up with some of the matches this week. You played in Norway, which has like MLS, sort of like spring to fall schedule. How difficult is it to adapt to like colder temperatures below freezing, kickoff that gets colder from there? And is there anything that you kind of learned from your time in Norway that you think is going to be useful these earlier weeks?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of it is mental. Obviously it's more difficult for guys that come from warmer climates and aren't used to it. But I think it's very mental, and the being here, especially training before we are heading there where it's also going to be cold, I think it helps us just, kind of get reacclimated to it after being in California. But I think it's mental. If we go into it, wanting to be in the cold and expecting it, I think it's much easier to just kind of go seamless into it than it is when you head out and you're like, worrying about how cold it is and, shivering up and just wanting to get it done. I think if we just go with the mindset of enjoying it and, taking it for what it's worth, I think that's the best we can do. And also, there's a lot of guys here that play here that are used to it, have been playing it most of their lives. So hopefully those guys can, help uh, bring up the guys that are maybe not used to it so much and get them mentally ready. But it's a team effort, so we'll all help each other out. And I know the trainers and everyone will also help get us prepared. So I think we just got to be excited for it. It's a fun opportunity to play in the cold.
Right. Thanks and best of luck on Saturday.
Appreciate it. Thanks.